Hello, hello, hello. I wanted to do a quick video on showing how polymorphism works. So if you need to go back to the composition video I made, the last video I made, the composition video, basically I have three files, or two that we're going to use, team info and scoreboard. And you see that team info is part of the composition of scoreboard. So maybe don't follow sports, but basically there's different types of scoreboards obviously where the score is for a sports game. And for many different sports, there's kind of also additional information on the scoreboard. So for football, there'll be the score as well as the time. And in baseball, there'll be the score as well as the inning number and the outs and hits and stuff like that. So I'm going to extend the scoreboard so you can get more information, and using inheritance and polymorphism to kind of show how you can do that. So I'm going to get rid of this class composition, and then I'm going to make a new class under my Java stuff. So I'll make a new class, and we'll call this baseball scoreboard. And so the time and stuff from this scoreboard, from the regular scoreboard.java, the scores will probably be the same. I want to extend this. So hence, if I do extends scoreboard, and then I have this value, and let's see what's the problem with this one. Oh, I need to make a default constructor. So before I do that, so I'm going to have some additional properties. I'll make these private, and so we'll have int home hits, home errors, home, and then away hits, away errors, and we'll leave it at this. And then also we need to bring in the constructor. So to kind of make it easier for me, this is one thing I like about Eclipse. Get rid of this thing. Is if you right click on the code, you go down to source, and then you can see here we have constructors using fields. And so I can also bring in all these values, and this is just the regular scoreboard. And then also, this is the regular scoreboard, so I'll have basically the stuff I had from before, as well as the additional stuff, the additional properties I had. So I'm going to put this in. I'll hit OK. You can see with this constructor, it uses the term super, which means the parent, so scoreboard, and it'll bring in team name, stuff like that from the previous one. And let me hit enter here so you guys can see everything. As well as it assigns the values for this one. And then I always like to have an empty constructor because I don't always need to put stuff in it. So if I right click here and I do source, constructor using fields, well, I don't actually need to do that because it's going to be empty. So I'll do public baseball scoreboard, then I'll do that empty, and then I'll put in here super, and I'll just leave super empty. And apparently I didn't build an empty one up here, so I need to put an empty constructor here to match up with it, and basically it'll just assign nothing. When I run it. So And this will be empty as well, and then you can see the arrow went away. So you have to have basically the super matches up with a parent one. And then I'm going to add my getters and setters, or my modifiers, if you want to use the fancy term. So I'll bring all 4 of those in. And then, so in this case, I can use the modifiers or the getters and setters also from Scoreboard. So if I want to set those values outside of this, and that's the nice thing about inheritance is I can basically kind of build up kind of pretty huge classes, and just basically taking bits and pieces from other things. And so I have these values, and so I'm going to make a driver. Click main here. I'll say I can't spell inheritance. I'll do polymorphism driver. So I have a main here. And then so basically I'll do 2 games, and then I'll kind of display the outputs. So I'll call this baseball scoreboard, and then one thing I also need to add, I forgot. So we go back to Scoreboard. I need to add a string. So I think I have a string in Scoreboard, and I need to add a string in this one. So right click on this, go to source, go to toString, and I'll just bring in all these methods. And then I'm also going to do the herited method. So from the parent, I don't need the toClass, but I do need all these. And so if I made Scoreboard values instead of private, I made these protected. Private means only this class can use it. Protected means this one and all the child classes can do it. So I'll make these protected. And then for my child one, if I do right click, source to string, oops, I'll say yes. I'll put this at the very end. I can do the inherited methods, but I also do the inherited fields. So I'll bring in all these fields as well. So hit OK. And where the heck did I put the toString? Oh, up at the top. So I always like to have the toString after the getters and setters for some reason. So it'll print out the Scoreboard stuff. And let's see, why do I have an error? Oh, and then I also need to change this visibility to, where's team info? This is private. So for these to actually work, I'll need to change this up to super get, say, away team name, and then save these. I'll do away, instead of away score, I'll do super the home team name. And this should be all of it. And then, so I'll run my polymorphism stuff. So I'm going to do baseball scoreboard. I'll call this, I'll just do BB scoreboard 1 equals new baseball scoreboard. And then I kind of forgot all the stuff I need to put in here. So I get error here, and if I write, I think if I do a left arrow, I kind of put the stuff in here. So I kind of have to go back and forth because I can't remember all the stuff I need to put in here. So I need to put in here team name, team location. So I'll do, actually I'll steal the, team name. So I'll do Mariners, Seattle. So it's away team name, away team location, away score. So the Mariners scored 5 runs. And then we'll do home team name, home team location, home score. Some team name, we'll do the Mariners are playing. I think we'll say they're playing the Dodgers tonight. It's LA. And then the score we'll put as 6. Dodgers are pretty good this year. So we got the scoreboard stuff. So it's kind of the base stuff that would go into regular scoreboard. Now we need to add a few more things. We need to add number of hits, home errors, away hits, and away errors. So we'll say, looks like both teams had a pretty good hitting night. So we'll say the home hits, so this will be for LA, we'll do 10. Errors, we'll put 0. Mariners will do, if they lost, they'll do a little bit less. They'll do 8, and then they'll say they have 1 error. And then I'll copy this and paste this. Actually, I'll just leave this be, because it doesn't really let me see it again. So now if I do system.out.print line, I'll do BB scoreboard 1, just to print all the scoreboard stuff. Now what I can also do is I'll do what's called polymorphism, where I change the types. So I'll do scoreboard, and I'll call this just scoreboard, equals, then I'm going to cast this, so scoreboard, I'll go BB scoreboard 1, and I'll print this value out. So what's going to happen is, while it's still going to retain the information, most of the information from BB scoreboard, it's only going to print out the stuff that's actually within the scoreboard class type. So in this instance, put a breakpoint here, and then I need to run this. So I'll right-click, I'll open the Project Explorer, right-click, debug as, I'll do the debug configuration. Need to make a new one. So polymorphism driver, and then I'll start the debugging. So you have the breakpoint here. So since we've seen that stuff get assigned before, I'll just step over this. So I'm going to hit F6 and Eclipse steps over it. So the values in the scoreboard are in here. You can see all the values are passed in. Now what I'm going to do is I'll print out the values. You can see the whole scoreboard thing here. So it has all the stuff from the baseball scoreboard as well as the stuff from the just kind of base scoreboard class. So now I'm going to do the polymorphism and then hit print out again. And I guess in this instance it shows the entire baseball scoreboard. But the values stored in the scoreboard are essentially basically the ones that are part of scoreboard. So I hope this is a good instance of polymorphism. I basically showed you how to do inheritance with a value as well as kind of do the polymorphism where you convert from one type to another. Hope this helps you with your assignment, and hope you have a great week.